Okay, today we're going to talk about an introduction to the Network Canvas Architect. The Network Canvas Architect is what you use to create Network Canvas interviews. The first thing you should know is that you can access the architect by going to our website, which is networkcanvas.com, and going to our download page. And on our download page, right under the green icon, you're going to find different links to download the software, and you can pick the one that's right for your device. And after it's downloaded, you're going to see our program. So this is Network Canvas Architect. It's a tool for creating Network Canvas interviews. You can either create one from scratch by using this button, or you can open an existing Network Canvas protocol interview. Down at the bottom, you can see several recently open protocols that are here for your easy access. And I'm going to introduce you to the program by going through one of these protocols. The first thing I want to say is that, up at the top, you have this box that gives you a summary of this protocol. The first thing you see is the name of the protocol. And so this is really how you are going to be able to identify as the researcher what interview you are giving your participant. So you're going to want to be careful here in using version control and the name and making sure that this is something that's meaningful to you. Because you don't have a lot of space here, we also included a protocol description where you can actually write in a lot more information describing this particular protocol. Up at the top here, you're also going to see two different buttons. The first of them is Manage Assets. And so assets refers to anything that you bring in to the protocol, be it a picture, a movie. It can also be audio, or it can be even like external network data, as in the case of like a roster that you might be using. And you can either load it in here and then preview it. And as you can see in this protocol, we have one image already added into the protocol. So this is just one spot where you can sort of quickly get an overview of what assets you have to choose from for your protocol. We also have a code book. And so clicking this button, you can look at your code book. And so what the codebook is a listing of all variables that have been created and description of them within this protocol. And so in the leftmost column, you're going to see the variable name. And then in the following columns, you're going to find a lot of information about these variables, the different type of variable it is, the input control, and then also a link to where it is being used in the interview. If you were to click on one of these, I'm going to click on clinical data right now, you actually go to the stage of the interview where that variable is utilized. I'm going to cancel out and go back really quickly to the code book. If a variable isn't used, it will actually indicate it's not used. Maybe it was created, but you just forgot perhaps to actually input it into the protocol. You can either go back to and fix that, or you can delete it. All the variables are used in this protocol, so we don't see that. I also want to say that variables are organized. They might be stored on the ego, which is the actual individual who is being surveyed, who is taking the interview. Or they might be stored on nodes, and those might be different people, different places, whatever the networks are that the subject is entering. These are variables that really are describing those nodes. In this case, the node is a person, and so we have information about what is that person's job, where do they live, are they a student? Another third type of variable that you might have is an edge type. So edge types are the structural connections between nodes. So this is a really long protocol. And one thing you see is, after you have this description box up here, You see this long red line. And so the protocol is actually organized as in a timeline. We have this physical organization where the first, you see a series of stages that are embedded on a red timeline. And the way that this works is each stage, they sort of go in order of what a participant is going to visually see when they open up a Network Canvas interview. The first stage is stage one. And just to give you a sense of how each stage fits within the interview, I'm going to click the preview button. The preview button allows you to actually see what the interviewee is going to see when they're completing a Network Canvas interview without having to go into the Network Canvas app and to move back and forth between Architect and the app. So this is the actual interview. The nice thing about this is that you can actually enter some data and start to get a sense for what an interview is going to look like. No data put in here is saved anywhere, so once this is closed, it's gone forever, but you can get a sense of what it feels like as a participant. I'm going to cancel out of this. Another thing I want to say is that, we really suggest that you build your stages starting from the beginning and just add as it makes sense to you. But they are also very much movable, that if you realize it makes much more sense to ask a question earlier, it's easy to move that section higher or lower in the interview. If you realize that you've missed a stage, you can always add a stage. When you hit the button to add a stage, you're going to see a number of different stages, a menu of stages that you can choose from to add to your interview. And they're organized as name generators, sociograms, name interpreters, and different utilities. We're going to have more in-depth videos that go into these, but just to give you a sense of how you would add a stage, it's as easy as clicking, and then you're going to be prompted to add more details in. But one of the last things I wanted to say is that in order to save anything that is entered, if you were to make changes on an existing protocol or during the creation of a new protocol, say that I want to change some of the introductory text. You're going to, if you don't want to save this at all, you can just hit cancel. You can, if you do want to save, you're going to hit continue, but really you're also going to want to be sure to save here. This is really what's going to make the change in the entire protocol to make sure that it's saved. You will receive a prompt to help remind you if you forget, but we just also want to make sure that you're always hitting save. But that is an overview of a Network Canvas interview in Architect.